Next thing we have is the user's left value. And again, that's just an arbitrary name I gave it, left value, right value, because I'm doing addition. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? And what we do is we take the result of invoking int.Parse on it, and we pass in user's text input into int.Parse. Int.Parse needs to know what it's parsing. It's not magic that this code works. This code is very explicit. We are explicitly telling the computer that we want whatever value is inside user's text input to be parsed. We don't want the value of what's in the string literal or that string literal or anything else. We just want the string that's inside of this value to be parsed. And that's why we specify it inside of these parentheses, just like how we specify what we want console.write to write inside of the parentheses. So the parentheses are very important, and we'll be talking more about them later once we get into methods. So int.Parse is a method that takes whatever we give it and returns the integer representation of that string. So int.Parse is only going to be taking in a string. We can't pass an integer into int.Parse. If I passed in the integer literal this, we'll get an error because why are we converting that from, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Although I could pass in a string literal like that if I wanted to, that would work. So int.Parse will take whatever the integer representation of the string is. This is all about converting data. We always have to convert data in some way when we have our programs running, because there is no console.readInt method. The only way to receive input from the console is through reading text. So we have to convert that text, and that's where this code comes into play. Once this code is ran, user's left value now contains, now the words I'm about to use are very significant. User's left value now contains the integer representation of user's text input. It doesn't contain the exact same value, but it contains the result of a conversion between this string into this integer. So that's what's held inside of this bucket now. Then we do console.write value 2, and just a quick recap, the difference between write and write line is that write line adds in a new line at the end of the message that you pass into it, whereas write doesn't. For prompts, I like to use write because then they allow me to put in my input on the same line as the prompt. So, yeah.